Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jerry from Bigelow Woodcraft, and today we're going to be doing something a little different today. If you're new to the channel, hey, thanks for coming along. If you're a longtime subscriber or a watcher, a fellow watcher, thanks for coming back. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. Today, most of you know, I have a big interest in the forest and trees, and I always have all my entire life. So, like I said, one of my attractions in life is the forest, and I've always been interested in the forest ever since I've been a kid. Whether it was I was building tree forts or just playing in the forest in the woods. So my forest is predominantly red oak, black oak, some white oak, popple, a little bit of maple, and white pine. And as many of you know, we had that gypsy moth that went through a couple years ago and it really took a beating on our forest, and we believe we have oak wilt in here. So I have cut down a lot of trees. You saw me cutting down the trees, you saw me marking trees, and I do have quite a few pockets of openings in this forest now. So I was given an opportunity by one of my friends, and he gave me, get this guys, 30 American chestnut trees to plant. I have some of them. I don't know if you can see them right there. Let's see. Those are going to be the first ones we're going to get planted. Now, my friend Evan, he's a PhD candidate. Hey, found somebody's lighter. Let's see if it lights. Ooh, it lights. Somebody lost the lighter here. My friend Evan, he's a PhD candidate at Michigan State. I don't know if he's received his PhD yet now, but he's working. His PhD is in silviculture. So he studies the forest and managing forests and things like that. So he gifted me these 30 American chestnut trees. Now, I didn't know a lot about chestnuts. I never really have been around them because they, what I understand, aren't really native to Michigan, but they are in the East, like Pennsylvania. I understand Pennsylvania, they're 150 years ago, is one in four out of every four trees, I think like two or three of them were chestnut trees. And in the early 1900s, I understand a blight came through, a fungus, and pretty much killed them all. What it was, I think, in 1904, they brought some Chinese or Asian chestnut trees over, and they're blight resistant, and they infected our trees. And within 50 years, almost all the chestnuts were gone. So it's a pretty sad state. So what they've been working on, the way I understand it, is crossing the original American chestnut tree with these Asian chestnut trees that are blight resistant. And they've been getting some pretty good results from them. And they'll grow, they'll grow them up, and then they'll keep splitting them out and seeing how they do. So we're going to plant these. So these are probably like 95% American chestnut, and I'm guessing Asian chestnut as well mixed with them. I'm not 100% sure of that. Evan, if I'm wrong, let me know. So we're going to plant these today. And I'm sure Evan will be reaching out to me on this video and saying, hey, Jerry, you're totally inaccurate, or hey, you nailed it. So I understand also chestnuts. Well, the American chestnut, that was the chestnut, roasting chestnuts on an open fire. That's where, that was that chestnut. These chestnut trees back in the day, they would be well over 100 foot tall, well over 100 foot tall. Bases, 5-6 foot diameter bases on them. I understand, just great big huge trees. And what I understand, some of the Asian trees were more like apple trees in the southern part of Asia or China. And the northern part, they brought in, they just didn't work out, and they found some taller ones in the northern part of China. So they started using those. So they're trying to get these majestic trees back, and it'd be cool if they did come back. So my property, they grow well, what I understand, in sandy, acidic soils like we have here. And that's exactly what this oak forest is all about, sandy, acidic soil. So I got my shovel, and I want to get planting. So this first opening, I'm probably going to plant Now, I was listening to a couple of guys, they plant them like every 12 foot and almost like orchard looks to get them to start stretching out. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pop them in randomly in this forest where I find sunlight, and I'm going to put a ribbon on them so as not to lose them. And I can come back, because what my plan is, these are 5 foot tall, but I'm probably going to come back and put some chicken wire around the bases of them just to keep the rabbits from chewing on them. We don't have many rabbits, but you know, to get all the way to the top of these, they're almost 4 or 5 foot tall. These some of these, I won't be able to wrap them all the way up, so I don't know how much the deer like eating the trees. Hopefully not. But let's get these planted and just see how they look. But first, let's take a look at these. Let's go back over here. So we have quite a few. Now I understand these are 2-year-old trees. So I'm going to plant some out here and I plant some at my house. So let's get this going. I've been talking a lot enough. You know, they've had some success with these chestnut trees, I understand, in years past, but they'd only get like halfway to maturity, maybe half the height of the original chestnuts, and then they'd die off. So we're hoping that these will have a decent survival rate in the next couple of years, and maybe in 20 years we'll start seeing chestnuts roasting, or chestnuts dropping on the ground, and we'll roast them on the open fire, me and my grandkids. Or maybe my grandkids will be using the sawmill to cut them up. So here we go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant maybe like 4 or 5 of them right through here. This gets a lot of sun right here. Big maple tree right there. So let's plant one right here. This is really easy digging. Let me see what the root looks like. So here's how big the root ball is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the hole big enough to drop these in. I guess they're not quite 5 foot, maybe 3.5 foot. Okay, a little bit bigger. So 30 is going to take a while. I'm not going to put you, I'm not going to make video of all this, guys. Obviously, oops, there's a root there. This would be a couple-hour video. A little deeper. You know, I could almost use my tractor auger. Yeah, I like that. That will work good right there. We're supposed to get a lot of rain in the next couple of days, so that's a good. It's I think we got another week and a half until May. All right, one down. So if we're gonna open it, let's plant 1, 2, 4. I could spend all day out here. In fact, I probably will be out here most of the day. Just hanging out, walking the forest. So I don't want to constrict the roots. What the root ball is how big I'm going to make the hole. So it's a pretty big root ball there. You know, there's a good chance I might not even get to reap the rewards of these trees in my lifetime, but maybe my kids, my grandkids, or somebody else who will be a good steward of the land will look after them after I'm well gone. You know, and that's the cool thing about foresting, doing this kind of stuff. This is legacy work. This kind of work is not instant gratification. This isn't stuff that's going to make you happy tomorrow. This makes you happy right now because now you know you're giving back to this world. This is so cool. I'm going to maybe encircle this entire opening. Let's go this way. I'm also trying to keep it away from areas where I think I would be moving a quad through or something along the lines of that. So let's set you up here on this stump. You know, another thing I'm looking for too is making sure there's nothing above it or a limb that can come down and crashing on it. So we're about 15 feet from that white oak. We'll let that compete with that white oak in the future. Let it stretch to the sky. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I understand like deer and squirrels love these nuts. Now, granted, we live this is an oak forest. There's going to be a lot of forage for those kind of animals out here. That's why we have so many deer around here. Okay, 3 down, 27 to go. Another thing I understand about oak or chestnuts is if it dies, you know, as it gets older too, they will stump root. So out of the stumps, or stump, yeah, I guess that's a word for it. Maybe stump root, stump and grow. A shoot will come out of the stump. Those could start growing up again. All right, couple more. That's just paper they used for like mulch to hold the moisture around the roots. Like I said, I'm just marking these so I don't lose them. Okay, let's plant one more, maybe a couple more over here. We're going to plant this one over here. Pretty nice opening here. You know, this opening gets a lot of traffic, so I'm not going to put any in the center of it. This is right when we pull into the property, so a lot of parking happens here. So we're going to put this one right here. It's a little chilly this morning, about 28 degrees, probably up into low 40s right now. I think it's supposed to get to 50 today. This is the last one, guys. I'm going to plant this one right on the corner of our property, my neighbor's property, and about 2,000 acres of the Manistee National Forest. I envision this big, beautiful, majestic chestnut, full canopy, 100-foot tall. Get rid of that old bench and have a nice little bench sitting here in my grandson's lifetime sometime. Maybe my grandson will be sitting under this tree, or my grandson's kids. That's what excites me about all this. Okay, this is just a little seedling here. This ain't like the other ones. So this one's a little smaller, these last few. But Still a nice rip ball. Last one of these big ones. I mean, it's not a big one, but I do have a handful of seedlings left. I want to save those till tomorrow. You'll see me plant those too. I'm going to plant those with my grandson at our house, not on this property. Hey, little guy, do your thing. They're all planted, guys, except for 10 little seedlings about that tall. So I want, like I said, I want to save those for my grandson. And we're going to plant those tomorrow, him and I. Supposed to get a bunch of rain coming in, so that would be good for them. So the American chestnut, like I said, they're completely decimated. They're really, I don't think, native to Michigan. I know they're through the eastern part of the United States. They were majestic trees in the late 1800s and early 1900s until that fungus got a hold of them, that blight. So that was unfortunate, but you know, the people like Evan, they're doing some good work on these trees. And again, Evan, thank you very much. So, guys, that'll do it. I'm sitting at my cabin overlooking the Bigelow. And the Bigelow is a stream that flows through our property. It's a pretty substantial trout stream. I'll show you here in a second. It's a blue ribbon trout stream. Trout season's about to open up in a week or two. So there'll be some guys fishing it. I let some fish on this chunk here. Full of brown trout, some brook trout. Nice spot. So let me show you what we're looking at. We're probably 30 feet above the river right here. Being that this is a forest, you know, you really don't have to plant trees. As soon as you take a tree down, seedlings start popping up. This was predominantly a white pine forest before it was all logged. And I do have some really, really giant white pines on this tree. One of them, I check it every year, make sure it's doing well. It's probably 4.5 to 5 feet in diameter, about 100 yards that way. Kind of chilly out. All right, guys, take care. We'll see ya. They're getting a little sticky. Don't break it. That's your tree. There. They're all planted.